Well, hello everybody, Grand Rising. My name is Rua, and I am with the Nyan-ko-pong Sovereign Maroon government. And today we're going to talk about the ILO. A lot of persons, when they come in for the documentation, they want to know what their rights are as Indigenous Native persons. And so this document that was constructed during the meeting of the UN in 1989 gives a lot of information about your rights as a sovereign or as an Indigenous person. So we're going to go through it today, and we're starting from the preamble. The preamble says, Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention of 1989, number 169, adopted on the 27th of June in 1989 by the General Conference of the International Labour Organization at its 76th session, entry into force on the 5th of September 1991. I'm going to put on my glasses because I think I need to make sure that I'm reading this thing accurately. Alright, so the General Conference of the International Labour Organization, having been convened at Geneva by the governing body of the International Labour Office, and having met in its 76th session on June 7, 1989, and noting the international standards contained in the Indigenous and Tribal Populations Convention and Recommendation of 1957. You know, it's important to note here, from 1957, there existed a document that covered the rights of Indigenous and Tribal populations. Fast forward into 1989, when this set of articles were agreed upon. And so you can find this information by just Googling UNILO 169, and you can go through it for yourself. I am not going to go through the entire preamble, but we're going to fast forward now to article number 1. Article 1. This convention applies to A. Tribal peoples in independent countries whose social, cultural, and economic conditions distinguish them from other sections of the national community, and whose status is regulated wholly or partly by their own customs and traditions, or by special laws and regulations. You wonder if you fall into this category? As an example, our Maroon communities, or any Native or Indigenous persons that you may be aware of, fall into this category. B. Peoples in independent countries who are regarded as Indigenous on account of their descent from the populations which inhabited the country, or a geographical region to which the country belongs at the time of conquest or colonization, or the establishment of present state boundaries, and who, irrespective of their legal status, retain some or all of their own social, economic, cultural, and political institutions. Again, this is very wide, but we have a lot of examples of this in our Jamaican social space, and I'm sure you'll find it elsewhere throughout the Caribbean. In persons who are indigenous to the land, persons who have retained their cultural heritage, their cultural languages, their dances, their speech, their way of living, you know, all of those persons fall under this category. 2. Self-identification as Indigenous or tribal shall be regarded as a fundamental for determining the groups to which the provisions of this convention apply. This means, even if you think, okay, I wasn't born in Maroon community, but I self-identify. I believe that I am a Maroon, or my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was a Maroon, or you have some, you know, some relative, some blood relative that belongs to that community. And if None of that exists, but you choose to say, I identify as a Maroon. You have the right under this article to be regarded as such, and all the benefits and provisions that are available to you should be offered to you. All right. Number 3, the use of the term peoples in this convention shall not be construed as having any implications as regards to rights which may attach to the term under international law. This is saying that in this document, peoples is used to refer to all indigenous persons by whatever other name they may call themselves. Taino Indians, Jamaican Maroons, Leeward Maroons, they're all called peoples here. However, peoples is also used in other international legal documents, and in those instances it may not pertain to indigenous persons. Article 2. 1. Governments shall have the responsibility for developing, with the participation of the peoples concerned, coordinated and systematic action to protect the rights of these people and to guarantee respect of their integrity. I'm going to pause and I'm going to repeat. Article 2.1. Governments shall have the responsibility for developing, with the participation of these people, coordinated, systematic action to protect the rights of these people and to guarantee respect for their integrity. A lot of persons, when they come into Nyan-ko-pong to take out their sovereign documentations, one of the first questions they ask is this recognized by the government? In Article 2, number 1 of the ILO, it is the responsibility of governments to assist in the developing and with coordination with Nyan-ko-pong and other such organizations to establish systematic procedures that help persons understand their rights as indigenous persons. This is very important. 2. Such action shall include measures for A. Ensuring that members of these peoples benefit on equal footing from the rights and opportunities which national laws and regulations grant to other members of the population. It means then that our IDs should be recognized. You know, anywhere we represent ourselves as sovereign persons, that should be acknowledged by the various institutions, and the rights and privileges that are assigned to us as indigenous persons should be honored. All right. 2A. 2B. Promoting the full realization of the social, economic, and cultural rights of these peoples with respect for their social and cultural identity and their customs and traditions and institutions. Government should be help in the promoting the full realization of the social, economic, and cultural rights of these peoples with respect for their social and cultural identity, their customs and traditions, and their institutions. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. C. Governments should assist the members of these peoples concerned to eliminate social economic gaps that may exist between indigenous and other members of the national community in a manner compatible with their aspirations and ways of life. And I'm going to pause there. We have gone through a lot today. I am going to encourage you to Google the UNILO69 and go through it for yourselves. Article 1 and Article 1 pertains to identifying what is an indigenous person. And if you self-identify as indigenous, if you self-identify as one of those who, against your will, traveled to this country, and you want to reclaim your sovereignty, the UNILO says that you can. The government, the Nyan-ko-pong Sovereign Native Maroon government, is offering persons globally the opportunity to self-identify and reclaim their sovereign status by accessing their sovereign documentation. In that documentation, you will receive a native certificate, which will replace your birth certificate, a travel ID, and a void of tax ID. Article 2 speaks about the responsibility of the government towards Indigenous persons. The government's responsibility to ensure that systems, procedures, and other things are put in place to help Indigenous persons navigate through the general community easily, without distress, without harassment. The UN-ILO again is available online. All you need to do is Google it. When next we meet, we'll be going further into the ILO, talking about more things that need to be done and some more of the rights that belong to Indigenous peoples. If you are one of those who want to become sovereign, you can find our offices at 96 Constant Spring Road, or you can call us at 876-669-3330, and one of our office persons will help you. Until next time, I am Rua. Stay Indigenous and become sovereign. Bye.